You know, when it comes to heavyweight boxing and somebody's beat you the first time, you got to go after him the second time. I felt Tyson Fury should have went after him a little bit more, and it would have been a different outcome.
I felt very strongly about it, just like the first time. Usyk knows how to win. He'll find a way to win. He'll find a way to win. And I thought Tyson would be better, and he was better. He was better. Give him credit for that. He made Usyk earn his way in. He wasn't getting pushed all over the ring, and that's what wears you down. And Fury, to his credit, he did a much better job. But Usyk does what he does.
As Tyson Fury started to tire, which I thought he would do, I thought Fury was going to come out a little bit more bullish and a bit more heavy. He was in the centre of the ring at the very start round one, and I thought this is what he needs to do. He's sort of backing up Usyk. Then as Tyson became tired, Usyk started to land a few eye-catching shots. There was nothing in this fight, but the eye-catching shots did come from Usyk. It was close. Fury, for me, didn't put the pressure on enough, and he wasn't busy enough, and he doesn't have the fitness to do that, and that's what cost him. Usyk was busier, he was better with the jab and that left cross. He was systematically, slowly but surely, getting to Tyson and beating him up, body and head. He landed the eye-catching big headshots.
This one was a clean sweep, so it's a much, much tougher pill to swallow. And of course, 2 in a row to the same person, there isn't going to be a rubber match. There's no need for that. It's clearly been proven. The better man on both occasions was Oleksandr Usyk.
When you're throwing 1 and 2 like Fury was, and the other guy's throwing 5 and 6, guess what? Even Teddy Atlas knows that. I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but I know that 5 and 6 beats 1 and 2. I kind of figured that one out. But at the end of the day, the whole turning point was after the 5th. It was the 6th round. He did what winners do.
Uncle Frank, I think, blind. If Tyson say it's Christmas gift, okay, thank you God, not Tyson. Thank you God. Thank you my coach Yuri. Thank you my coach Kuba. Thank you my team.
Usyk fired back, slamming Fury's claim and crediting his win to hard work and divine support, not the judges' generosity. He made it clear that no gift from judges played a role in his win, fueling the tension between the two fighters. Usyk didn't hold back as he addressed Fury's remarks, making it clear that his focus was always on his performance and not on external opinions. He stated, "I win. It's good. I don't know. I'm not the judge. I'm a sportsman, an athlete. It's not my deal. I win. Thank you, God." With this response, he firmly shut down Fury's Christmas gift narrative, emphasizing his dedication and leaving no room for doubt about the legitimacy of his victory. Even outside the ring, Usyk's victory received widespread support from experts, judges, and analysts, solidifying the credibility of his performance. Michael Bisping pointed out that all 3 judges scored the fight in Usyk's favor, with an identical score of 116 to 112. This wasn't just a matter of personal opinion. Advanced AI scoring and numerous boxing pundits at ringside echoed the same results.
All the experts had Oleksandr Usyk winning 116 to 112. So Usyk 8 rounds to 4 rounds on the side of Fury. And that's not one judge, not 2 judges, but all 3 judges. Even the artificial intelligence judge had it that way, and a lot of the boxing pundits at ringside, they felt the same way as well.
The consensus painted a clear picture. Usyk dominated the fight, winning 8 rounds to Fury's 4. Such unanimous agreement left little room for controversy. It further highlighted that Usyk's win wasn't just a fluke or a close call, but a decisive triumph over Fury. Michael Bisping left no doubt about where he stands on Usyk's status in boxing history. He began by declaring Usyk the true undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, brushing aside the fact that one of his titles had been stripped. He stated, "Oleksandr Usyk is the true undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Regardless of the fact he got stripped of one of the belts, he just beat Tyson Fury once again." This statement reinforced Usyk's dominance in the division, affirming that his achievements go beyond just holding titles. They reflect his unmatched skill and consistency. Bisping continued, emphasizing how Usyk not only outboxed Fury, but physically hurt hurt him during the fight. He acknowledged that while this fight wasn't as dramatic as their first encounter, Usyk still landed significant blows that left Fury vulnerable. He stated, once again via decision. Once again, he clipped Tyson Fury, wobbled Tyson Fury, and had him hurt on a few occasions. But it wasn't like round 9 of the first fight. It wasn't as bad as that. It wasn't as dramatic as that. This assessment highlighted Usyk's ability to dominate in multiple ways, proving that his performance wasn't just about tactics, but also his ability to impose physical pressure. Bisping also praised the judges for making the right call this time. In a sport often criticized for controversial decisions, this fight stood out as a fair and accurate reflection of what happened in the ring. He stated, "But I'll tell you what, the judges, for once in boxing, they got it right." This remark further validated Usyk's win, acknowledging that even in a sometimes questionable sport, the result was undeniable. Michael Bisping didn't hold back in addressing the narrative surrounding Fury's performance. He made it clear that this loss wasn't due to Fury declining or being out of form. It was about Usyk being the superior boxer on the night. He praised Usyk for proving himself as the best of his generation, showcasing his skill, strategy, and control in the ring. He highlighted how Usyk outperformed Fury in every meaningful way, landing more punches, dealing more damage, and dictating the pace of the fight.
This isn't Tyson Fury on the downslide. This was Tyson Fury just being beat fair and square by the best boxer of his generation. Oleksandr Usyk is the man. He reigned supreme. He did more damage. He landed more shots, and he kind of controlled the ring more as well. He was kind of in control. Yeah, it was a fight. Yeah, Fury showed up. Yeah, Fury should hold himself proud. He should be happy with his performance, but it just wasn't enough to get the job done.
While acknowledging Fury's effort, Bisping struck a balance, noting that Fury fought well and should take pride in his performance. However, he emphasized that even Fury at his best couldn't overcome Usyk, reinforcing Usyk's position as the dominant force in the heavyweight division. Bisping further shared his thoughts on Tyson Fury's reaction to his losses, shedding light on Fury's perspective. He acknowledged Fury's pride and the incredible 34-fight unbeaten streak that defined much of his career. However, Fury's response to his first loss against Usyk stirred controversy, as he attributed it to external factors rather than acknowledging Usyk's performance. Now, Tyson Fury is a really proud man, okay? Prior to the 2 losses, he had 34 wins in a row, he'd never been defeated, he lost to Oleksandr Usyk, he called that one bullshit. This is number 1 bullshit. He said it was scored for the Ukrainian because of the war, Bisping stated. Bisping shifted his tone to reflect on Tyson Fury's incredible career and legacy. Despite the back-to-back losses to Usyk, Bisping made it clear that Fury has achieved more than most fighters ever dream of, solidifying his place in boxing history. Well, certainly he's got nothing to prove. He should be very, very proud of himself. He should. He's made a ridiculous amount of money, he's extremely wealthy, he's been the heavyweight champion of the world, one of the biggest names in British heavyweight boxing, Bisping remarked. These words served as a reminder that Fury's accomplishments go far beyond these 2 losses, highlighting his impact on the sport and his status as one of the most celebrated heavyweights of his time. Following Bisping's reflections on Fury's legacy, True Geordie offered his own analysis of the fight, focusing on the strategic mismatch that unfolded in the ring. He emphasized the difference in styles between Fury and Usyk, pointing out how Usyk's technical mastery gave him the upper hand. True Geordie highlighted that while Fury had his moments of success, particularly in the early rounds, his energy began to fade as the fight progressed. This shift allowed Usyk to capitalize on his superior boxing skills, dominating the later rounds and showcasing why he's considered one of the best in the sport.
That doesn't mean if you fight, kill or be killed, you're going to win. But the point is if you box with that boxer, you will lose. He is the best at that. I said in that first fight, Tyson Fury had good energy and a good moment up to round 7, and at that point his energy started to go, his punches became less effective, and he was less of a threat, and Usyk took over. So you need to come into this fight.
The breakdown underscored the idea that Fury's usual tactics, which often overwhelm opponents, were no match for Usyk's calculated and disciplined approach, solidifying the Ukrainian's position at the top. True Geordie further elaborated that he believed Tyson Fury needed to do to overcome Usyk's dominance. He stressed that Fury couldn't rely on traditional boxing tactics when facing someone as skilled and disciplined as Usyk. Instead, he suggested that Fury needed a more aggressive and decisive strategy from the very start. So you need to come into this fight and go in for the kill within those rounds, or you're gonna lose, man, guaranteed. And I'm not saying like, oh, stick it on him, as if it's that simple. You've obviously got to do it responsibly, cleverly, True Geordie stated. This analysis pointed to the fine balance Fury needed to strike, being aggressive without losing focus or discipline, something that is easier said than done against a boxer like Usyk. True Geordie went on to emphasize just how unique Usyk's understanding of the sport is, calling it one of his greatest strengths. He argued that beating Usyk required breaking away from the conventional rules of boxing and disrupting his rhythm in a way no one else has managed. He added, "But you've got to force the issue because this man, he understands the laws of boxing too well. You've got to break the rules in order to beat him." This insight painted Usyk as a nearly unbeatable opponent under normal circumstances, highlighting the extraordinary challenge Fury faced in trying to dethrone the Ukrainian champion. True Geordie further explained the kind of approach Fury needed to adopt to have any chance against Usyk. He highlighted that fighting Usyk required stepping out of the conventional playbook and embracing unpredictability to unsettle the Ukrainian's calculated style, True Geordie explained. And that requires you to do unorthodox things, to do unpredictable things, and when you do clip him, empty the gas tank and go after him with every last drop of energy you've got. This advice reflected the need for a relentless and high-risk strategy, one that pushed Fury to his physical limits, but also offered the best chance of breaking through Usyk's ironclad defense. True Geordie went on to explain why sticking to standard tactics simply wouldn't work against a boxer of Usyk's caliber. He painted Usyk as a grandmaster of the sport, someone who thrives when the fight follows the usual rules and structure. He added, "You've got to raise him instead of staying with him, because when you try and stay with him, you have to play by the rules. And when you do that, he wins every time. He's a grandmaster of boxing." This remark underscored Usyk's unparalleled skill and mastery of the sport, suggesting that only a chaotic and relentless approach could potentially disrupt his dominance. Building on the discussion of Tyson Fury's challenges against Usyk, the conversation naturally shifted to what lies ahead for the Gypsy King. True Geordie and others emphasized that Fury might need to rethink his approach against Usyk, but there's still another opportunity that could redefine his career and legacy. Bisping highlighted the much anticipated showdown between Fury and Anthony Joshua, a fight that has been teased for years and fueled by plenty of trash talk between the two heavyweights. With both fighters now having suffered losses to Usyk, the matchup has taken on new meaning, not as a battle for undisputed supremacy, but as a clash of British boxing giants fighting for redemption.
But there is still one fight out there for Tyson Fury, and Eddie Hearn thinks it's the biggest British fight that could ever be put on, and of course, AJ. Anthony Joshua versus the Gypsy King. These two have been talking shit at one another for years, and that fight is still out there. Both men have now lost to Usyk. Of course, Fury twice, so there's no shame in that.
Eddie Hearn added to the excitement, suggesting that Fury's defeat to Usyk has made this fight the only one worth making. The prospect of Fury versus Joshua, arguably the biggest British boxing event ever, has fans buzzing about what could be the ultimate grudge match and a chance for both fighters to reclaim their place at the top. For Fury, it's an opportunity to prove he still belongs among the elite, while for Joshua, it's a chance to solidify his legacy by taking on his greatest rival. The stakes couldn't be higher, making this a fight that could define their careers.
Only one fight for Fury, which is AJ, and I don't think it's time to go on about it tonight. He's going to be hurting from that defeat, and he's a great fighter, but for me, it's the only fight to make.
Eddie Hearn wasted no time pointing to the obvious next chapter for Tyson Fury. While acknowledging Usyk's night, he made it clear that Fury's path forward leads directly to Anthony Joshua. He emphasized the magnitude of this potential showdown, calling it the biggest fight in British boxing history. Fans and critics alike know this is the fight that will settle long-standing debates.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's time to start screaming, that this night's Usyk Fury, but the reality is there's only one fight for Tyson Fury, and that's Anthony Joshua. It's the biggest fight probably in the history of British boxing. Everyone will always...
Eddie Hearn didn't shy away from discussing Tyson Fury's performance after his loss to Oleksandr Usyk. While the defeat was a blow to Fury's record, it was far from a sign of decline. Hearn emphasized the importance of evaluating Fury's overall form, especially as talks about his next fight begin to swirl. Many questioned whether Fury's time at the top was coming to an end, but Hearn offered a different perspective. He stated, "By the way, that wasn't a Tyson Fury that looked finished. It wasn't a flat performance, wasn't a poor performance. performance. Hearn's words highlighted that Fury still brought intensity and effort to the fight. He firmly dismissed claims of a lackluster display, steering the narrative toward Fury's enduring capabilities. As the conversation continued, Hearn addressed another layer of Fury's performance. He pointed out the traits that define a world-class boxer and gave his assessment of Fury's readiness for future challenges. Despite the loss, Hearn remained optimistic about what Fury can bring to the table in his next bout. He stated, "He didn't look gun-shy, he didn't look like his punch resistance was in question like we talked about earlier, so I think Tyson Fury is still, potentially at the peak of his powers, just not good enough to beat Oleksandr Usyk tonight." These remarks leave no doubt. Fury still has what it takes to compete at the highest level. The question now is whether he can regroup and refocus on what could be the biggest fight of his career against Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn then shifted his focus to what lies ahead, making it clear that one fight stands above all others for Tyson Fury. He emphasized the urgency of making a historic clash with Anthony Joshua a reality, painting a vivid picture of what such a fight could mean for British boxing. Hearn expressed his determination to push for this fight, calling it the next step for Fury's career and a moment the sport cannot afford to miss. Still, the loss will undoubtedly weigh heavy on Fury, leaving questions about how he will respond in the coming months. Fans and the boxing world eagerly await what's next for the heavyweight division.
For me, look, AJ against Fury is the one. It's the one at Wembley, and then it's back out here for Riyadh season. I'm going to be pushing His Excellency to make the fight, but that's maybe one for another day. Tonight belongs to Oleksandr Usyk, but Fury will struggle with this, I think. All fighters do. AJ struggled with a Dubois.
Eddie Hearn further elaborated on the emotional toll a loss takes on top fighters, pointing out that the sting of defeat is universal among champions. He reflected on how losing is never easy for those accustomed to winning, especially when they've dedicated themselves entirely to a fight. Hearn explained that Fury's reaction after the fight was a testament to how much this defeat meant to him. He stated, all fighters do. AJ struggled with the defeat as well. You're a winner, and when you get beat, it hurts, and this will hurt Tyson Fury. Hearn drew a clear parallel between Fury's pain and what Anthony Joshua experienced after his losses, emphasizing the shared struggles of great fighters. For Fury, the frustration is not just about the loss, but about the sacrifices made to prepare for the battle. Hearn went on to highlight how a second defeat can be even more painful for a fighter. He recounted AJ's emotional reaction after losing to Usyk for the second time, showing how much effort and heart go into these rematches. Hearn painted a vivid picture of the immense sacrifices Fury made leading up to this fight, mirroring Joshua's dedication. He stated, "Does it hurt more when it's the second time? Yeah, because it's frustration. I mean, you remember when AJ lost to Usyk for the second time. You saw his reaction. It was like he trained so hard for that fight. He put his entire soul into beating Usyk in the rematch." Hearn's comparison underlines how devastating it is for any fighter to give everything they have, only to fall short. Fury's efforts, like Joshua's, were immense, and the disappointment is something only fighters at this level can truly understand. As Hearn continued, he delved into Fury's sacrifices in preparation for the fight. He described Fury's intense training camp, the isolation, and the focus he maintained, only to face the frustration of not achieving victory. Hearn suggested that this frustration is what drove Fury to leave the ring so quickly after the fight. He stated, "You heard from Fury about the sacrifices he made in camp. He did the same thing, and it's like, that's why he left the ring tonight. Probably the same kind of frustration. How did I not beat him? Why? I did everything right. I made the sacrifice. I didn't talk to anyone. And it's just frustrating for these guys." Hearn's words gave a glimpse into the mental and emotional battle fighters face beyond the ring. Fury's journey back from this loss will be as much about overcoming the mental strain as it is about preparing physically for his next challenge. Fans will be watching closely to see how Fury rises from this setback. Hearn's comments set the stage, but the conversation didn't stop there. True Geordie added his own blunt take on the situation, cutting straight to the heart of the matter. He stated, "The truth is, you were bested by the better man. 2 fights in a row, mate. Deal with it." Geordie didn't hold back, calling for Fury to face reality before looking ahead. He stated, "And look, what comes next? Hopefully AJ versus Tyson Fury is finally on the fucking cards, and I can't wait for that." With fans and critics pushing for the long-awaited showdown, the pressure on Fury to step into the ring with Joshua has never been higher. together. The boxing world waits with bated breath for the next chapter. In the aftermath of Usyk's decisive victories over Tyson Fury, the narrative surrounding Fury's legacy and future has taken center stage. Analysts like Michael Bisping and True Geordie have dissected the fight, offering insights into the strategic mismatches and the mental battles Fury must overcome. Eddie Hearn has also highlighted the immense sacrifices Fury made and the frustration that comes with falling short despite giving everything. This paints a vivid picture of a fighter grappling with not just defeat, but the emotional toll of the sport at its highest level. For Fury, the road ahead remains uncertain, but filled with opportunity. The long-anticipated showdown with Anthony Joshua looms as the defining fight for both men. It's a battle that could reignite Fury's career and give him a shot at redemption. While for Joshua, it's a chance to prove his worth against a rival he's sparred with in the media for years. Fans are left wondering if Fury can regroup, recalibrate, and rise again to deliver what could be one of the greatest fights in British boxing history. These fights aren't just about titles, they're about pride, redemption, and legacy. Can Fury find the resolve to bounce back after consecutive losses? Will he and Joshua finally settle the score in the ring? And most importantly, can either man rewrite their story in the face of Usyk's dominance? As we watch the heavyweight division evolve, one thing is certain: the next chapter will be crucial for the careers of these legendary fighters. In my view, a Fury-Joshua fight isn't just a must-see event, it's the redemption arc both need to solidify their place in boxing history. What do you think? Can Fury adapt to Usyk's mastery if there's a third fight? Or is the Joshua bout the better path for his career? And for Joshua, does this potential clash offer the validation he's been seeking? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this.